Welcome to Yeshiva Daf. Shir sponsored Lilu Nishmas Armi Shalom and Leabas Yitzchok. We're holding in our Zara Daf Samach Zayin. We're starting in the two dots. A few lines down in Mudalef. The Gemara said, yes.
Zara
Kol she'anosoi b'noi sentam. So, Omar Rav Yudo Omar Shmuel. Hachi Yechezkel. That's the halacha. What's the halacha? The what? That if you have Noi Setam, it goes based on Noi Setam regarding Noi Setam Nivgam, as we'll see in a moment. Something that gives a bad taste as it ruins it. Says the Gemara, Omar Rav Yudo Omar Shmuel, Lishon Shenofel Tochgusim Roitri. Meaning, talking about what is the end of the Mishnah. Choymit Shenofel Gabei Grisi. You have vinegar falling on boiling beans or pea, and it ruins it because the taste doesn't go well. Aval nafal toch gusin soinim virtichon naso k'mishish biach ulusoy pogom ve'osu. Says like this: if originally it was cold, so the vinegar did not ruin the greasy, the beans, the lentil. That will be the exact translation. It's not going to ruin the lentil, and then afterwards it got hot and it ruined it, so then it's too late. Once, as the Rishonim explain it, once it becomes asur, once already is nois setam l'shvach, and you have your taroi v'sisur, now it becomes asur, now you can, now afterwards because it's different. The way the rants, what?
What's in it?
Let's say when vinegar hits a hot lentil, the taste gets ruined. But if the lentil is cold, the taste doesn't get ruined. So if the cold, it fell on lentil, cold lentil, taste is good. And the vinegar is asur, talk about the Zara. Falls on the lentil, makes it asur. Now you heat it up and the taste is bad, I don't care, it's already asur. That's what the Ran explained, that's part of what's called chanan. Chanan is Rosh Hashanah is chaticha nasos nevelo. Once something has asur in it, the whole thing becomes asur. So it's already asur.
Why would you think that you could undo this?
Because I would think that every time you have a bad taste, it's not, your taste is removed from you. So I say, now the taste is bad, so it should be removed. So that's what the Gemara says right now, that you don't say that.
Yeah, isn't it even in cold, it's still bad taste?
No. In cold, it's good taste. Or at least, not bad taste.
It doesn't absorb it because it's cold.
Not because it doesn't absorb, because the taste is not bad.
So
What's heated
It
up?
was good, and then you heated it up, and then the taste became bad. Too late already.
let's say it was hot when it fell in.
So then it's nois setam l'vgam, and it's not asur.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
If
That's the Mishnah.
Yeah, vinegar is hot.
Vinegar, the Mishnah is talking about greasy. If the greasy rod, if the lentil's hot, it's about the same thing.
What about the thing that you're pouring in?
Yeah, if it's hot or not, I could be. I don't like to get into that discussion because, as we mentioned in Shabbos, you get into discussion of tatogova or lo tatogova, which is another discussion, something Indian. When you have something which the top one is cold and the bottom one is hot, or vice versa, could be the bottom one is misgaber. So let's leave it aside for now. Let's stick to the case of the Mishnah. The Mishnah says if I have hot lentil and the vinegar is also, the vinegar is if the Zara falls into the hot lentil, it doesn't know it. Why not? Because it's bad taste. But what happens if the lentil is cold? Good taste. What happens if the cold lentil that became hot? So that's what the Gemara says right now, then it's too late.
But it became hot after you poured
Yeah.
it.
It fell into hot, greasy. The Gemara is going to repeat it. We'll repeat it right now 2 times. He fell into cold, and then he heated it up. It's like good that became bad. Avdimi said the same thing. So you have 3 mandomas said the same thing. What do you want to say?
If the vinegar was asur, it's asur enough.
Yeah.
So who cares about
So whenever you have a mixture of nois setam l'vgam, I will talk about that you clean out the vinegar. You take the greasy only. But the greasy is mixed up because some vinegar went into the greasy. You have the taste of the vinegar and the greasy. But the taste of the vinegar and the greasy is a problem only when it's nois setam l'shvach. Nois setam l'vgam is not a problem. So even though I taste, I'm gonna taste now Isser. I have a taste of Isser.
We get something else altogether.
Yeah.
If it's already also minor community, we have it from that.
No, it's not Isser.
Correct?
It's not Isser. If it's nice to guy, never became also. You grease it.
Isn't the vinegar also? I'm saying.
The vinegar is also, you're not allowed to drink the vinegar.
Right.
But the grease was not also.
But I'm saying.
Now he's saying once it make contact with the beans, it's usher anyway.
No, it's not. Because if the taste of the vinegar that falls on the grease does not influence the grease to have a better taste, the grease don't become usher. The greasy don't become
It's
usher.
a different halacha.
Yeah, the greasy, the vinegar you're not allowed to drink. But what about the greasy? Oh, the greasy, I can taste the vinegar. Let's mix it up.
But you poured off the vinegar. You're not saying that it's still lying.
Yeah, so maybe not thinking because the vinegar itself can be. Talk about, let's say here that you have vinegar in it, or you can't even see it. It's batal b'shishi. It's cancelled.
So is it bottled?
It's bottle. So so shishi would work even if shishi would work even if the taste is good. But if it's less than shishim, if the taste is good, it's not bottle. If the taste of gam is bottle.
I understand in milk and meat, but I'm saying Avoda Zara is also end of conversation.
No, if the Avoda Zara is also. But the question is the greasy mushroom. The greasy over here, I'm taking a piece of grease, taking a lentil, I can taste the vinegar. Not a problem. Because the vinegar just ruins it, so the taste is considered to be bottled. Even though I can taste it. That's what they used to do when they have Shabbos tzipori, that they used to put the vinegar into the greasy when they're cold, and then they heated them up. And that was called shachlaim. And they used to enjoy the Yushain discuss over why exactly they did it. Because they would, the way we saw it in Rashi, they would do it cold and leave it cold. So at least they enjoyed it while they're cold. Or some Yushain want to say they heat it up later, but in the meantime, they were able to enjoy it during the time that it was cold, because then it was good.
It doesn't talk about the vinegar of Avoda.
No. Just stop. Right.
That's how they cooked it. That's how.
Yeah, that's what they did. They called it shechlaim. Okay. Amar Shlokish. Noisetam levgam shomru. Lo shiyom gdei rizu chaser melach yaser melach chaser tavli yaser tavli. Meaning, maybe the way Rish Lakish, maybe let's finish the sentence. El kol shein chaser klum ve'ein nechol pnei. So Rish Lakish in the first gear says like this. You're going, let's say you have vinegar that falls into a pot. But now, if the pot would have salt and pepper, the vinegar would be delicious. But now there's no salt and pepper. If I put vinegar into the pot without salt and pepper, it's not a good taste. Says the Shlokish, that's not, according to the first gear that we see over here, that's not turn Talmud of God. Why? Because really, if you would have the dish done properly, this would not be Nurse Talmud of God. It would be a good taste. The only reason it's a bad taste is because of the salt and the pepper they're missing. So it's not really this thing making a bad taste. The reason why it's a bad taste is because you're missing salt and pepper. So that's how you read it. It's a little salt missing, or it's too much salt. It's too salty. Is missing pepper, or it has too much pepper. But the only way Noisat Talmud Gam works is that the dish is done properly. Everything is perfect. It's a perfect dish. But now when this vinegar fell in, it's unedible. Oh, you see that the vinegar made it bad. That's Girsa number 1. Girsa number 2 says the opposite. V'ikadamri. Don't say I'm still missing your salt, or it's too salty. I'm missing here a pepper, or it's too peppery. So the second Girsa of Shlokish is the exact opposite. It says, I don't care why is it bad taste. You're right. If I had salt, if I had the proper amount of salt, this vinegar would not ruin it. You're right. But currently I don't have enough salt. And the vinegar ruins the taste. So the vinegar is considered to be Noisat Talmud Gam. So according to the first Girsa, I say Noisat Talmud Gam is a problem. I mean, Noisat Talmud Gam will not Oisat Tavshil, only if the Tavshil is done properly. Not if it's missing something else. If this is not the reason that's Noisat Talmud Gam. According to the second Girsa, I don't care what the reason is. If right now the vinegar gives a bad taste, it's not going to be Oisat Tavshil. The way the gears saw that they bring over the side over here, if I have an isser, and I have an actual isser, I have a mamoshes of isser, an actual mamoshes of isser. So then, if a person eats it, he gets malchus. What's kedei achilas pras? What's the shear of Achilas Pras? What is the translation of the word pras? What's pras? Half.
An olive.
Half.
It's the size of an olive.
No, that's what I mean over here. Pras. Pras means half. Half pras means half. Now, what's pras we're talking about? Half of bread. Because they did a shear. There's a shear of a bread, which that's a shear they use for eruv. It's a shear of a loaf of bread. That loaf of bread that Chazal discussed, which is based on the Torah, is a loaf of bread that has 2 meals in it. So half of the loaf is one meal. That's called Achilas Pras. How long is Achilas Pras? It's the time it takes to eat that one bread. And it's a machlokes the Pesach today. How much is it? Is it 4 minutes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and nafkaminas legabe achilas Yom Kippurim and other things. But Achilas Pras takes time. A person will go and he will eat a kazais. That's the halach that you mentioned. Within the time it takes to eat Achilas Pras, for example, let's say we go to shear, the Achilas Pras is 4 minutes. So if I tell you that if you eat this, there's a vinegar of Isser that fell into the pot. And vinegar is not a good idea because kazai is hard to get to it. But let's continue with the idea of vinegar. And the vinegar has a shear. If you can eat within 4 minutes a kazais of the vinegar, it's awesome because you're eating an actual Isser. As TB said before, it's a Avoda Zara. So that's awesome. That's pashut. Now, this is going to have some Zion base. But what happens if you have only taste? You don't have the actual mamosha's Isser. That's the case we spoke about before. Meaning, I don't have the actual. Rashi brings you 2 examples. This disagrees with one, so we'll talk about the other one. You have, for example, chaylev. You have your fat that fell into the pot and it dissolved, right? Because it was in a hot pot. You don't see it, but you can taste it. So then, Asur, you're not allowed to eat it. Ve'ein lo kimalov. It's Asur, you don't get makas. Ve'im ribo tam livgam mutter. If it makes a bad taste, it's mutter. Right? That's what it is. Where it says im ribo tam livgam. It says if it gave tam livgam, like the lotion we use always. Hakamash rolan davgav deika mila chinisu the pogmo be'adei. The reason we're using this lotion to tell you, this not necessarily is the only factor that makes the bad taste. Could be that it's also missing salt and also missing pepper. I don't care why. When I say it has a bad taste, so therefore it's going to be okay. And that's like a second lotion of Shlokish. Now just to mention over here, if you look, turn around again the page, you'll see there's a very long thesis over here. They're going from Amud Aleph into Amud Beis. And this is a big discussion over here in the Rishonim. When we say that Tamoy Veloy Mamosho is also, but you don't get marcus. Why is that so? Rashi learns the reason why is that it is, it's because what? Because it's an Isser Derabanan, it's not an Isser Deraisa. When I have a taste, but the Moshe is only Isser Derabanan, Isser Deraisa. Part of what taste is discussed, the taste brings Rayas for and against Rashi, and it's a very big discussion in the Rishonim. Tais brings over here 2 other explanations. One explanation is that we're talking about that we hold it's really a Isur Deraisa, but you still don't get marcus because we're talking that you didn't eat enough. Because if it's in Mamashoy, so you're not eating kazais of the Achilas Pras, so that's why you don't get marcus. Or another pshat that brings over here is the reason you don't get marcus is because the time of the Mamashoy is Isur Deraisa, but not a lav, only an essay. It's not a Isur lav. And there's several shittos of the Rishonim to say with different nuances how to explain it. The Rambam, the Ravid, there is several shittas of the Rishonim. What is exactly the definition of Tamil Ramoshay? But we'll stick here with what we saw brought over here from Rashi and Tosfos. Says the Gemara, Omar Avkan, Midivrei Kulam Nilman, from all of them we'll learn Noisen Tam Nevgam Mutter. From all the shittas that we mentioned until now, everybody says Noisen Tam Nevgam Mutter. Rashi brings the list. Who is it? Rabbi Yudo, Rav Bachano, Rav Dimi, Rav Shlokish, Rabbi Vo. Everybody that we quoted in this daf or daf plus said no Tam Nevgam, bad taste is mutter. Says the Gemara, I understand you. Everybody that we quoted says it. He's not saying himself. He's quoting somebody else, others. So not necessarily that he agrees. Says the Gemara, from all this discussion, mashma right? Mashma, this list, all of Neisatan Nevgam is mutter. But there is somebody who holds Noisei Tam Gam is mutter. Is also. Who is that? So in Vatanya, find a brayso. Echad Noisei Tam Gam, ve'echad Noisei Tam Shvach Osur Divrei Amir. Amir holds what?
If you're eating it, isn't that by definition not Noisei Tam Gam?
If you're eating the Isra itself.
Right.
No, so again, as the Gemara said, that's the beginning of the Amud. That's the first line of the Amud. When you eat the Isra itself, it doesn't do with taste. I'm talking about only something that gives taste, but not eating the thing itself. So I'm talking about liquid, for example, that fell into a tavshil. I'm eating a tavshil. Do I taste it or not? That's considered to be. I'm not eating kazai to the pas.
No, but you're eating.
You're eating a piece of meat. The piece of meat has in it the taste of some liquid.
Right.
That's what it's telling God. Again, that's what we discussed originally at the beginning of this year. That's the beginning of this line of the Amud. I'm not talking about mamashim. Mamashim, if I have a mamish issur, I don't care if you like the taste or you don't like the taste. I'm talking about you don't have a mamash issur. This is not here. I mean, what you have over here is only taste of issur. It's bottle.
Right.
That's the issue. But not bottle, it's mixed.
No, but by definition, if it doesn't taste bad.
Yes, there'll be also.
But if you're eating it, that's not by definition meaning it's not done.
No, it could be it has a bad taste and you're still eating it.
Oh.
Meaning it could be, I'm okay with it, not a great taste, but it doesn't have to be like, there's another discussion that we're showing, to what extent do we say that it's down with God? Does it mean it's not edible? Many we should agree, it doesn't have to be not edible. It could be edible, but it's not the way it's supposed to be tasting.
But you're hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry, you're not eating, yeah, exactly, maybe you're hungry. Says the Gemara, so we bring a Bryce. The Bryce says, Echad Noisei Tam Gam, Echad Noisei Tam Shvach, also Divrei Amir. Rameh holds that it's both also. Shimon Omer l'shvach also Gam mutter. My time of the Amir, 5 minutes. My time of the Amir, Komar migiulei oivdei kachovim. You learn from Giul of Kachovim, which is a Pashto Matos. What's the story of Giul of the Kachovim? Giul of the Kachovim is the Goyim. There was a war, and they went to Midian, and they found vessels there of the Goyim. And the Goyim, and the shaila is, can you eat it or not? And we said over there that it's also, you have to put it in fire. Says isn't it a bad taste? Why you assume that it's Noisei Tam Gam? Right? How do you know it's Noisei Tam Gam? So we'll see that in a moment. The Gemara right now assumes that these dishes, the taste that came out of it is a bad taste. It's still also, so that's why it's also.
If it's stainless steel, you can't use it as kosher somehow?
You could kosher. That's exactly what the pasuk says over there. Put it into fire, into hot water. Depends. Cold shavu b'eish, tabir b'eish. Kol shavu b'ma'at. That's where you learn how to go scaling. But why have to go scaling at all? Noisei Tam Gam. So Noisei Tam Gam is also. That's what may hold. V'hidach kedavunu b'rei davchil. Toma avunu b'rei davchil lo also toira l'gdeira bas yoimo deloy livkamu. We're not talking about something which is more than 24 hours. Because within 24 hours, the taste is still good.
Because this is like if someone comes to a hotel to kosher the hotel, they're using the dishwasher.
Yeah.
You got it.
So that could be an example. Usually we have a rule. We learned it in Maseches Shavuos. The rule is the taste brings. If I don't know better, I assume it's more than 24 hours. But here, let's say they knew there was less than 24 hours. So you mean if it's less than 24 hours, the taste is okay. So we're talking about K'dir Basir with the Loi Livgamu. The K'dir Basir Minami Yivsha the Loi Pogmo Purso. Also here it's Pogmo Purso. So here it's a big machlokes. The Gemara brings over here a shita that says that even if we talk about only 7 hours after it was cooked, it's still not a perfect taste. It's not a good taste. So the Rishonim here ask, does he mean, what's the machlokes? The machlokes is this, that the first one number holds that if it's within 24 hours, it's not doing any bad taste at all. And the second one number says, no, I disagree. It does still do some bad taste. Or they both agree they make something, it's not the best taste, but it's not livgam. Livgam means to pass 24 hours. Discussed over here, the taste discusses it over here as well. If you have Shimon my time, or the Tanya, what's with Shimon Shita? Shimon Shita says that the shvach is also livgam as mutter. So he says, the Tanya, l'seichel kol nevelo, leger shebishorecha, kol aruyo leger kruyo nevelo. Whatever is roy leger, that's the nevelo which is also. You can't, ger means ger teisha. So a Jew can eat it. Shein leger ain't a kruyo nevelo. It's not called nevelo. You can't eat it. That's called a Noisei Tam Gam. We're talking about an animal who's sick. That's what we're talking about. It's rucha mikar. It stinks from the beginning. It has a sickness. So it never was good. Not that it was an nevelo, and after it died, now it gives a bad taste. It was always a bad, it was spoiled. It was always spoiled. I don't have to come and tell me that. After Balmu, it's sand. So in other words, it has a different earth. So what is the Gemara saying? The Gemara is saying that that's the shorish machlekes, is nois and dam nevgam asur or mutar, big machlekes over here, depending on how you're learning what's going on in Midian, and that's the machlekes and nois and dam nevgam. It's an interesting thing over here that's a discussion. I am going to be Ezer Shem Shomach Shav Nadav for this daf. We'll speak about the machshava behind nois and dam nevgam.